House needs painting, grass needs mowing, where's he at?
Hi, this is Hank. Sorry I missed your call. Leave me your name and your number and I'll get back to you.
He's gone fishing.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Mossy Oak and Liqua Molly.
Hello and welcome to Off the Water with Hank Parker. I'm your co-host Sarah Beth, and you are?
Hello, Sarah Beth. I'm old Charlie B.
Oh, Charlie B.
Oh,
yeah,
Charlie
I don't
B.
know if y'all know that. His real name is not Hank. His real name is Charles.
Don't tell them what it is. My goodness, I've kept that a secret for 70 years.
You're the one that just said it.
I know it, but
Charlie
they
B.
didn't know I really meant that.
Sorry, we'll bleep it out.
All right, I'm Charlie B. All right,
Redacted.
Hank Parker. Good to see everybody this beautiful, fine day, a crisp fall.
Crisp
Getting
fall
ready
day.
to be a wintertime.
Finally.
Yeah, it's coming home strong. That's a good thing. Fish are biting. I love fall fishing, Sarah
Fall.
Beth.
So now, tell me about fall fishing. How does it change? Like, it's a transitional period, obviously, between summer and winter. So how does their behavior change? So how do you change your tactics for fall fishing?
You know, I had a guy call me the other day, and he said he's fishing a championship tournament, and he said, I have done really well on this particular lake, and I've got a lot of brush piles out, but I've been catching them on a big 10-inch worm, and I fished them the other day, and I feel like the fish are still there, but I can't get them to bite. What do you think's happening? I said, well, you know, traditionally in the fall, those fish get up there close to the bank, and sometimes they leave those brush piles, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they suspend up. They enjoy that, and I talk about water column a lot. They enjoy that cooler water up there close to the surface, and so they'll tend to suspend up, even though they're in 20 foot of water over a brush pile. I said, why don't you go in there and throw a big swim bait?
Wait. Cooler water at the top or warmer water at the top? Cooler water at the top.
Yeah,
okay.
in the fall it's cooling.
Okay.
So these 50-degree nights are taking that surface temperature from the 90s where we were. I went yesterday, and the water temperature has been where I went. The water temperature has been in the high 80s and low 90s.
So still pretty hot.
Yeah, but yesterday that water temperature was 72 degrees.
Yeah.
Ooh, they liked it. All the shad running up there on the top.
That's one bad thing about the Carolinas in general is that you'll wake up, it'll be cold in the morning,
That's
and then
a
the
wonderful thing.
afternoon,
No, it's not a
it
bad
gets no.
thing.
The afternoon gets up to 90 degrees, and then by 6
No, it
p.m.
don't
we're
get
down to
90.
68. Yes,
Come
it does.
on. Yesterday,
Last week.
Yesterday it was a high of 73 degrees, and yesterday morning was 48. So that water temperature cooled a lot. Mm-hmm. And so those shad are up there running on the surface. So I told this guy, I said, those fish may not have left that brush pile. They're just not down there hanging in the bottom hitting that worm. They may be suspended at the top or even over the brush pile completely up there enjoying the rays and the cooler water. And you might want to just try a swim bait. He called me back and he said, you're a genius. You're a genius.
You get that often?
You wouldn't believe. I never get that. He said, you wouldn't believe, man. He said, I went right back to those same brush piles, and I just started throwing that swim bait. And I told him, I said, stay way back off of it and make multiple casts and start out and fish that swim bait right under the surface or throw a top water, throw that big arc walking top water bait and sidewinder and come right over the top of those brush piles. And a lot of times they'll blow up. And he said, you ain't going to believe it, but I caught about a 20-pound bag throwing topwater and swim bait over the top. And he said, I didn't get a bite on my worm like I've been catching them. So that is one thing that happens in the fall.
That's pretty cool.
But
All right.
normally, yesterday, the fish I caught were in the dirt. I mean, they were so shallow, it was amazing.
They were all the way up there, like as shallow as they could get without beaching themselves.
Yeah, I mean, almost to see their fin. And so I ended up catching them by going to a real light weight and pitching soft plastics. I used some creature baits and flipping soft plastics, and then I caught them on a square bill, square bill. Arc's got an awesome square bill. And I use that little square bill and I just make a little underhand cast, and sometimes I wouldn't even crank the handle a full turn and he'd be on it. So they were in the dirt. It's amazing how shallow.
Yeah, and we're at the very start of fall. Fall. Good Lord, fall started late September. And so I'm just saying, how does it change from the beginning of fall to like the end of fall?
Well, it definitely changes with water temperature, and you're right about changing in the fall, and not necessarily all based on water temperature. The angle of the sun is a lot different. The penetration of the water, those fish behave differently, even if the water hadn't cooled that much. I was amazed yesterday in some of the back of those pockets, the temperature of the water was still in the 80s.
Right.
But yet they were in the dirt. I mean,
Yeah,
they were
all the way shallow.
Shallow. So that's pretty amazing that they're up there. If you base everything on water temperature, they wouldn't be there. But it's the angle of the sun. It's the penetration. The rays of the sun don't penetrate that water. So they know it's happy times. And
It's happy times at the top.
Ooh, and I'm going to tell you, you go to a place like Lake Champlain, you go up into Brainerd, Minnesota area, those fish absolutely know the ice is coming, and they just chomp.
Winter is coming.
I mean, they feed like crazy. October is an incredible month. September, October, even early November in the northern part of the country, catching these big fish, big smallmouth, largemouth, both. They just gang up and they get real aggressive, and they feed like crazy. I like that.
Because they know winter's coming.
They know it. They know that angle of that sun is a tip-off, not only water temperature. So,
yeah.
But I'll tell you something I learned. I learned. And a couple of things that have happened to me. One, I'm starting to lose confidence in my ability to catch fish because I've dedicated so much time to forward-facing sonar, and I'm not been successful with it. I have not, if I'm totally honest. I go a lot of times, and I don't catch anything.
Yeah.
And it shot my confidence to a point. And so I got my son and my grandson, they're going fishing. So he called me on the phone, Hank Jr., and he said, Dad, I'm going to High Rock. I hadn't been on High Rock before. I said, son, let me tell you where to go. Let me tell you what to do. Here are the 3 baits you want to use. And he called me back last night when I was coming back from the lake, and they wore them out. I mean, they caught them. And he said, Dad, they're exactly where you told me they'd be. They were exactly on the dock where you said they'd be, and we caught them on the baits. He said, man, that's awesome. How'd you do?
Did he say you were a genius?
I said, he practically did. I said, I didn't catch them. He said, you didn't catch them? What were you doing? I said, I was throwing that minnow. I was out there in 50 foot of water chasing them ghosts out there with that forward-facing sonar, and I said, I didn't catch them. He said, why would you do that?
Right.
Why? You knew what to do, and you could have caught them. Yeah, you're right. I did know what to do.
You were trying something different.
And you're right. I could have caught them.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Do you think forward-facing sonar has like a difference in fall, or do you think, I mean, obviously we've had this conversation before about fishing pressure with forward-facing sonar. Do you think it's any different in the fall?
I obviously don't have a clue about it because I have not figured it. Every time I think I get it figured out, I realize I don't have anything figured out. And so
then you're on the phone with technical support.
Well, I'm past that. I don't have any technical issues. I just can't catch them. And it's just frustrating. And the challenge of that, I hate defeat. I hate that this is a method for catching fish that's so effective, and I can't figure it out. And it bothers me. And I'm still not going to quit. I just don't have quit in me. So I'm going to figure something out. Now, I'm going to get it figured out, but it's taking the fun out of it for me. I have not had fun the last 3 times I've gone and scoped. I have not had fun.
Well, then stop scope. It's that simple.
I just hate being defeated. I just hate to say, okay, I'm throwing in the towel.
Well, why don't you take a break? Instead of throwing in the towel, why don't you take a break,
well, and that's
get
what
the joy?
I've done. And every time I've took a break, I've caught them. I took a kid that he fishes farm ponds, and he's never had the opportunity to fish out of a boat. And so 3 weeks ago, he and I went fishing, and I wanted to teach him. And we caught 52 largemouth bass. I didn't turn that scope on.
No.
I put it on 2D sonar, and I looked at water temperature and I watched my map.
Yeah.
And I fished traditional methods like I've fished all my life. And I'm going to be honest, I forgot how much fun it is to just go fishing.
To me, I think it's more fun to guess than to see. I mean, like, again, I don't know jack crud about forward facing sonar. I didn't even know what it was on the front of your boat like the first time you got it. But I'm just saying, like, it's interesting to learn about and to see. And I think certain people, it's their cup of tea. But I agree with you. I think it's more fun to just kind of guess and try to throw it out there and know what you traditionally know for fishing.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I found a little cut yesterday that must have had 1 billion crappie in it.
Oh goodness! Don't tell Wally.
Yeah, Uncle Wally, I'd be having a fit. So I'm going to go back. Now that looked fun. I didn't have anything to fish for them with, and I didn't really want to fish for them. I really had. I found all these bait balls of shad, and I just really felt like I could catch them. And I was by myself, and so I spent all day chasing ghosts and caught some nice catfish.
How many bass did you catch? One?
I didn't catch one.
You didn't? Ooh, you said that real quiet. Hold on. What was that? I didn't hear you.
I didn't catch one.
Yeah.
I caught nice cats.
Nice cats.
And I watched them come get my little minnow. So
at least something bit.
Yeah, and I got to watch them. And both times I thought they were bass till they started rolling. I thought, oh, this bass has got some whiskers. They're gonna be good.
Hank Parker, the cat fisherman.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, them slime dogs don't get in my boat. No.
They're so bad. I think they're hilarious. I didn't know that they made noise.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot like you go holding them and they start.
Yeah, they do. They don't like that. But anyway. I think that there are some people that have got this forward-facing deal figured out, and they catch them. But I don't know so much about in the fall.
In the fall, yeah.
You know, we just interviewed the champion of the NPFL.
We did.
And he won it
without
fishing docks.
Yeah.
And there were other people out there scoping. And
I think that's really interesting. Well, that was one of his points, is he said he noticed everybody else was scoping, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna try some of these docks and some of these shorelines. And sure enough, I mean, traditional method that day pulled through over scoping. And maybe it was just because he was doing something differently. Maybe the fish changed up their pattern because they knew there's all these boats out here using, the location. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's
it's an assumption.
I do think he was right about one thing. He said, if there's nobody else beating these docks, then there's going to be enough for me to win, and that's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's hard when everybody's fishing the same pattern.
Yeah,
it's really difficult for enough fish to go for 3 days. But things are changing in the forward-facing sonar world.
Yes, I was going to say, it's funny you mentioned that. I've got a list of the rule changes as of 2025 from BASS, MLF, and MPFL. The BASS, the Elite and the Classic series, what has changed? Live forward-facing sonar is restricted, but it's not banned. So only one live sonar transducer is allowed, and it must be bow-mounted. Total screen inches, bow-mounted. Total screen inches across devices, limited to 55 inches. Only one electric motor allowed. For Bass Pro Tour MLF version, forward-facing and 360 sonar is allowed in only one of the 3 daily periods. So they have to say before each round what day that they're going to use forward-facing sonar on.
What about MFLP?
MLF. What are you talking about? You're talking about MPFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
National Fishing League.
We're getting
what about
there.
them? You named MFL.
MFL, so the limitations on sonar gear. Okay.
All right, you got to pick your period in advance. Hold on. No, don't run off and leave me. You're looking at your phone and you're reading all this, but don't run off and leave me. All right. Bass now, I heard the new rule. They said, all right, we're going to have 9 tournaments.
Yes.
In 4 tournaments, we're going to not allow forward-facing sonar.
Right.
In 4, we're going to allow it. And for the odd one, we're going to flip a coin. And I think that last one was Lake Champlain.
Yeah.
And, boy, they have killed those smallmouth using forward-facing sonar in they've caught a lot of them. They haven't killed.
So
They've caught a lot using forward-facing sonar, so that's been the dominant method. But the coin toss fell negative for forward-facing sonar. So next year, Bass is going to have 5 tournaments not allowing forward-facing.
Yeah.
And 4 allowing.
Right. They made a statement, and it's like the reasoning why, because a lot of people were asking like why. There was a lot of backlash. It says these restrictions force anglers to use sonar more deliberately, limit fishing by screen dominance, and bring back value to scouting, patterning, and read water skills.
Yeah, it's a muddy subject, and
It really is.
It's hard to figure out what's fair, and I think this is about as much about as fair as you can get with what they're doing. So we'll see how it works.
That's fair, but now MPFL, they're the harshest out of all of them. They have fully banned forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
So it says starting in 2025, real-time imaging live forward-facing sonar is completely banned in official competition and practice. So other sonar methods, 2D, side imaging, and 360 that are not real-time are still allowed. The 2025 MPFL Championship will be fished under 2024 rules to keep the fairness for qualifiers, but their reasoning is the MPFL's move pushes strongly back against the tech arms race and forces anglers to rely more on classic skills, so sight, structure, water reading, and presentation. So a lot of these places, they're diving back. I think they might have realized you catch them on forward-facing sonar, but I think they're realizing there's a real lack of the fundamentals of bass fishing.
A lot of the guys that were interviewed about the topic would say, "Are you a scoper?" And they would say, "Not by choice."
Yeah.
And so they would go into detail with that question. What do you mean, not by choice? Well, I grew up fishing graph lines and points and different aquatic vegetation, and that's my favorite style of fishing. That's my favorite structure to fish, but I can't be competitive. I must fish forward-facing sonar in order to
catch up to everybody else.
To be competitive.
Yeah.
So they apologized, and they had to do it. And my buddy Danny Bennett with Huckleberry Apparel, he is so opposed to it. I mean, it is amazing how he feels that it has destroyed fishing. And I'm a guy, and Danny and I are super good friends. And I don't agree fully with, boy, he takes a strong stand. He gets mad when I even hint that it's okay. No, it ain't okay. It's running our sport. Well, I beg to differ, but it's okay. I still have tremendous respect for Danny and his point of view. And then, what was my buddy's name with the Garmin guru? Randy.
Randy.
And boy, he really was offended and about some of the things I said. And once I went back and listened to the podcast, he had every right to be.
Right.
He didn't handle it quite the way I would have handled it, but that's okay.
No, but
he's very passionate.
Yeah, we've had him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Y'all can actually go watch that episode of previous. All you got to look up is just Garmin Guru, Hank Parker off the water. It'll pull up for you.
And it was pretty cool. He had a complete different point of view, but he was so protective because I was so negative. And so I've tried to be fair, and I've tried to look at it through both sets of eyes. The guys that are so deadly opposed, like Danny Bennett, and the guys like Randy with Garmin Guru.
Yeah.
And I've tried to look and try to come up with what's fair.
Yeah.
And I hate it for the Anderson family having to make these rules. I hate it for Boyd Duckett.
Right.
I hate it for all the guys that are faced with this. Now, the NPFL,
Yes.
they started from the outset realizing there were so many anglers that were so opposed
Right.
that they didn't have the battle within
them to fight it.
Yeah, within their ranks.
Yeah.
Most everybody that was in the NPFL, most all of those guys were already opposed to forward-facing sonar. But now on the bass side, it was about a 50-50 deal. So
yeah, that's why they had the lightest restrictions. BASS did over MLF and NPFL. So I mean, I honestly think that that's fair. Dividing it up and then flipping a coin on the last one, because I feel like you make both sides happy. You get your live scoping in, then you also get your more traditional fishing. But now they have released statements saying that they would prefer, like, they want people to know the fundamentals of fishing. That's partially why they do that. I think they've noticed a trend and a pattern of these people that feel like they're pressured to scope, not being able to have fun, or like, they're having to learn something new just to be competitive. So I think my opinion is that they just wanted to bring it back to like the old roots of bass fishing. Yeah, fundamentals.
It's been a battle going on, but I like to look at it from my perspective. I like to look at it from what I took it as a challenge, and I became obsessed with trying to be good at it. And the more I failed, the more I was challenged. And so I got caught up in that without even realizing how it was dominating the way I approached the water. And so all of a sudden, I'm realizing I ain't having a whole lot of fun, and I'm not having a lot of success.
Right.
I'm going out there, and I know what I could do to catch fish. And every once in a while, I'll take a buddy with me, and he'll say, man, let's get off of this and go catch some fish. And we'll go and do what he wants to do and catch fish.
Yeah.
And he said, we could have been doing this all day. Yeah, I know, but I really want to learn this. And so finally, I've come to the realization, I like a challenge. It's something completely different, and it's very challenging.
And you don't like to quit either.
I hate to quit, but it has dominated my mindset and has kept me from enjoying what I normally love to do.
Well, yeah, when you're so focused on it, it becomes work, or it becomes like a study versus just going out for fun, just enjoying it. So
But I can't figure out how these kids can go out there and figure this thing out and catch them, and I can't. That bothers me. It isn't like that. It isn't like I can't see. It isn't like I can't cast. It isn't like I don't have a brain. There's something missing. I mean, I can understand how a football player turns 40 years old. He can't do physically what he did when he was 30.
Right.
But I can do everything that I need to do.
For fishing, yeah.
And still can't figure the stupid thing out. I just want to shoot myself. And it's been so frustrating for me. And I'm not going to quit, but I am not going to let it dominate me. I'm still going to go fishing and have fun. And traditional fall patterns, you say, what is a traditional fall pattern? That's where we start.
Yeah.
Traditional fall pattern is what happened yesterday. Those fish migrate in the back of these pockets. They go in these creeks. They get up there super duper shallow. They bite square bill crankbaits. They chase shad. You catch them on top water. Lots of good things happen. Buzz baits come alive in the fall. And so it's just good times for a shallow water bank beating fisherman, Yeah. And you can get out of the middle of the lake. You can get off of that deep water structure. And if you got some brush piles out there, you can run a swim bait over them, a top water bait, and catch fish out in deep water with fun techniques. And so I enjoy that. I love it. And so traditional fall patterns, the water cools off, the shad come up to the surface. They get up there really, really shallow.
Shallow.
Where the bait fish are, the bass are not going to be far behind. So
hungry hippos.
Yeah.
They like to eat.
They do like to eat, and they're going to follow that bait, and that's what happens in the fall. So traditional fall patterns is move up shallow, move in the back of the pockets. And people say, well, I'm going to tell you one thing. We've learned that don't always happen. Forward Facing Sonar has taught us that a lot of those fish stay out deep. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of ghosts out there, and I chased them all day yesterday, and for a couple hours, and then finally I said, "The heck with this! I'm gonna get my little arc square bill, and I'm gonna get in the back of these pockets."
And sure enough, guess where they were? Shallow, as Hank says.
Diddy had fun.
Diddy
Put him on a little lightweight, and I'd pitch that thing up there, and I mean, it'd be on the bank, and they'd have it. And that's a challenge too, man. Those fish hit it up there really, really shallow when they're coming at you. So. Got to have that's the difference in the old days when I used to fish that 5.5 foot rod. Man, you'd miss a lot of them fish. But now I was using a flipping stick yesterday, pitching that worm up there shallow. So I had a lot of rod to set the hook. And I didn't miss very many. I missed maybe one or two. But when they hit that bait, they're aggressive, and they were coming at us.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah, it was a good thing. It was fun times. But that's traditional fall pattern. I do think that Forward Facing Sonar has proved that we didn't know as much as we thought we knew.
Right.
That not all the fish in the lake are doing the same thing. And,
right. Well, you all have listened to us from the start of this whole Forward Facing Sonar journey. We started this podcast kind of right when it started to become really controversial. At least now we finally have a bit of an answer as to where these tournaments are headed. Not to say that it won't change in the future, but we have at least some ruling now. Because beforehand it was so up in the air. Oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Whose side are they going to choose?
Well, it's going to be interesting, too, because they're going to go back to some of the lakes they've already fished, and you'll be able to compare weights with and without.
That'll be good. That'll be really good.
Yeah, and you look at Lake Fork, Texas, for example, where they've just blown it away, where the top 10 guys have 100 pounds, and they're all forward facing. Let's see what happens without it. It's going to be interesting.
That is interesting. I think it just adds a new challenge. I think it's a good thing, though, for the anglers, too. Like, Forward Facing Sonar is great, but I think it's good to change it up some. Like, even if they did, like, every other year, like, I think that would still be agreeable. Like, at least to me, I'm like, you're dividing it up. It's still entertaining. It still gives the anglers diversity, and people get to see what they want to see.
Well, I sure like what they're doing now better than I would if it was ever a year. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
So I think that half the tournaments and the flip of the coin, maybe they could have said in half the tournament or one day you could have used it and been more fair. I don't know that. But nevertheless, I like that they're doing something. And I think the anglers are pretty happy with it. And to be honest, Forward Facing Sonar is losing its luster. It's
and as all new things go, there's always going to be a new shiny toy. It's like a kid gets a toy for Christmas. They play with it for about maybe a few months, and then all of a sudden that toy is locked up in the attic somewhere and forgotten.
Christmas.
And so. I'm just saying that's things are going to come and go. And next thing you know, next year it might be a new device that we're sitting here talking about saying, where is this going to take us?
Not my Christmas. I got me a farm boss steel chainsaw, and I whip that thing out about every time a tree falls. So, I still use my Christmas. I've used it here. It is getting ready to be Christmas again in a couple of months.
I know. I can't believe that.
Yeah, if I get me another chainsaw.
You don't need another chainsaw.
Yeah, I do, too.
You getting your chainsaw stuck in a tree this past time. We had that hurricane.
Oh, come on.
We had that hurricane. We had that hurricane. And that tree. You notice how he's talking to every son. I'll tell the story. That tree fell.
You use a wedge and a hammer. You get your chainsaw out. So come on.
How long did it take you to get that chainsaw unstuck up out that tree?
I had to get a tractor and a lift and another chainsaw and cut it out. It was a pretty big mess. But, it's an art to running a chainsaw. It's an art
I guess you do need 2 chainsaws.
You need 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and you need help.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
But I like toys, and I like chainsaws, and I like fishing rods and reels. You can't have too many, and I got a bunch, and I love them all. So all that's good. And fall fishing is fun. You just need to get out there, Yep. It's
get out there on that shallow water.
Yep, get out there in that shallow water and
shallow water.
You say it.
But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out our sponsors down in the description below. We want to give a shout out to Mossy Oak Properties, Mossy Oak Nativ Nurseries, and Mossy Oak Biologic.
Whoa, you got it right.
Biologic.
I cannot believe you got Biologic.
And we
Good for you.
we can't forget our sponsor, Liqui Moly. They
Liqui
make
Moly.
some great products and some great gun grease. It is hunting season, you guys. Please take care of your rifles. Make sure you clean them. It's all going to prove the effectiveness of your shot. So just
Whoa, you go. We talking to an expert here. She don't miss very often. This girl right here, she'll lay on down now.
he told me, what was it? 2 years ago, you said, no. This is last year. You said, shoot low, Sarah, shoot low, because we want Thorn to track you. I don't shoot low. I drop them.
I was wanting my dog to track him. Shoot a little low. Don't put that thing up there in his shoulder right behind it and make him fall dead in his tracks. Let's
That's what
let
I
him
do.
run at least 100 yards where my dog can have a little tracking experience. But that's okay.
All right.
We want to be humane at all times, so we shouldn't
Yeah,
even talk
Hank.
about stuff like this. You
Yep.
want to be able to make them die instantly and feel no pain. So that's
Yep,
important.
that's exactly what we do.
And that's your job.
That is my job.
All right.
Well, with all that being said, see you guys next week.
Hey, thanks for being with us. God bless you. I'll see you next week.